Hi, everybody. Diana here at Sew Uncommon. Happy Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, everybody. I just wanted to come live and wish you all a very happy holiday. It's been a great year with all of you here at Sew Uncommon. And I wanted just to remind you of a few things. So if you have like a pencil and a piece of paper, maybe you'll want to jot a couple of things down. Some things that are coming, some things that you need to know that you can still get before the end of the year, free patterns and stuff like that. And the very first thing I wanted to remind you all of is with our Build a Quilt system. Now the combo special we had is now over. Thank you all for all of you that picked that up. But remember, set 1 and set 2 individually, each set is still on special through the end of the year for $35 a set. So set 1 is at $35 and set 2 is at $35, which is still a great value. That's the introductory price. So if you're still looking to get these at a good savings, you want to do that before the end of 12/31, okay? Because after that, they'll go back up to their regular prices, which is still a great value, but why not save some money and go buy new fabric, right? But the other thing I wanted to share with you all that is a free download over at the website, I'll share that with you in a moment, is we know that when we do our Build a Quilt, we build in segments, right? Just like you see our fanciful floret and our other little quilted piece here. Those are all built in segment pieces. And because the cutting is a little bit different than if you're cutting in a more traditional manner, I put together a tip sheet for you all that gives you your width of your fabric. So if you're using a 42-inch width or a 45-inch width, and what size you're cutting and how many of those squares, because some of them are subcut after you do squares. That's all in your instructions. But how many squares you would get out of every 1 yard of fabric. And so that is a free download. And what I recommend is you grab this, and this is going to stay up there probably forever because somebody is always going to need this if they're new to Build a Quilt, right? So what I'm saying is grab it. And if you have put together a binder like you see my Build a Quilt basic sets in, then just pop it either in, like in this little binder I have, which is just a little 1-inch binder. There's a slot right here. So I put them in 2 page protectors so that they stay nice and safe, right? And they don't get dirty and wrinkled and wet if I accidentally missed with some water on some fabric and I end up getting them. So I can slip them right in here. That way I can just easily pop them out. Or with these little page protectors, they can also go in the binder right here in the front. And that way you always have everything with you and everything is ready, right? So we want to make sure that things stay that way so that every time we're sitting down with our Build a Quilt sets or our patterns, we have this information with us if we're trying to figure out like how many yards of fabric do I need for my half square triangles. I'm going to say you've picked a pattern that says you're going to make 500 5x5 half square triangles. That's a lot, but believe me, there's a quilt pattern out there that takes 2,500 half square triangles. So yeah, you use a lot of half square triangles sometimes, but I would just look on here. What size do I want my that I want to cut to start? This is your starting, your fresh cut, not your finished size. And then it would tell me how many I could get from a yard of fabric. That can help you calculate out your fabric needs. So it's nice to have that in with your basic sets, or if you don't have the basic sets yet, but you have all of our free patterns and you've put those in a binder, that sheet will help with that as well because they're all done exactly the same way. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you. Don't forget to grab your sets while they're still on special. We're going to be using them a lot in 2024, so you're going to want to have them, and I want you to be able to get them at the best deal possible. But that calculation sheet, that quantity tip sheet, is going to be really, really helpful. And the next thing I wanted to share with you guys is the our quilt along. So this was our Starbright quilt. I gave you guys extra time through to the end of January to get this done, just the quilt top, because remember, when you get your quilt top done and you post a photograph over at our Facebook page, let me bring that up there for you. There you go. It's just Sew in Common over on Facebook. When you post a photograph of your quilt top for the Starlight quilt, then you're going to be in a pool for a giveaway, because we're giving away 3 free 1-year subscriptions to the National Quilt Museum. And we're going to have another prize too, maybe 2 other prizes, but I'm not announcing them yet, because you have to have that done and up on the website. Not quilted, not bound, just the quilt top. Now, I say you've got plenty of time to get it quilted and done, but I don't know what your life is like. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're saying, I just don't have the time, Diana. Then don't worry about it. Don't push yourself. But if you can get that quilt top done, then your chances are you will be in the drawing for these great prizes that we want to give away to everybody. So January 29th, we are going to go live. We're going to have a live event that day, and I'll put out a time and all of that in the next couple of weeks. I don't want to give you that on Christmas Eve because nobody would remember it. But on the 29th of January, we're going to go live, and it's going to be all about our Starlight Starbright Quilt Along. You're going to see mine. You can ask questions, all that kind of stuff, because I know some of you might actually have questions, might be finishing up and have some questions. So all of that, get those together, bring them, because your picture has to be up before the end of the day on the 31st, so that we can put everybody's name in the bucket and pull out winners, and then we'll announce them that next week. So I wanted to remind you all, I think now, sometimes I think I'm a little overzealous about my time constraints, right? And think, oh, I can get this done. Maybe I'm crazy. However, I think you could get this top done even if you started now. You got some time after tomorrow or whatever. I think you could still get this top done by the end of the month. But even if you can't, but you're interested in making the Starlight Starbright quilt, grab your free pattern pieces and the 3 free information sheets. So there's information sheet 1 and there's information sheet 2. And then there is the final information sheet, which is the layout, the template, all of that to help you get it put together. Okay. So grab those. I'm going to leave those out there during January for everybody in case you forget or you're not home right now and you're seeing this and it's the middle of January and you're like, oh, I got to finish mine and I need that sheet before it goes away. So I'll leave these out there until we're completely done at the end of January, because all 3 of them are free. There's information sheet 1, information sheet 2, and the final information sheet. And it's the Starlight Starbright Quilt Along. Do I still have a little thing here that tells you that? No, I think I got rid of it. Oh, that was bad. I shouldn't have done that because I figured we would need it again. But get those while you can so that you can get your quilt finished up. And remember, with the patterns, the 4 stars that we use in this were all free patterns. Everything for the Quilt Along this year was free. All you have to purchase is your fabric, your batting, your binding, that kind of stuff, right? So, and there's videos as well. And here on the channel, and but you'll need these you'll go back and you'll grab those free month patterns if you don't grab them already. Now, the one for the this one right here, which is the crossover star, there's a whole new pattern for that, and you see that, and it talks about that and all for that, because I changed it a little bit for the quilt. But that was the only difference. And you get the files, the templates, everything that you need for them. Okay, so don't forget to grab these. Now, I showed you guys on Saturday's video our award that we got. There it is. I've got it sitting here so everybody can see it. I kind of redid my space back here. I actually cleaned it up a little bit because boy, was it a wreck. But But there is our creator award to Sew in Common for passing 100,000 subscribers, all because of you. Wouldn't exist without you guys. So thank you all again so much. Continue to share and like the videos and share with your friends. We appreciate it so much. And that helps other people see it too. And that helps other people join the Sew in Common family. So we would love if you would do that. So our website is www.sewincommon.com. All of our free patterns for this year are still out there. They're going to remain out there until December 31st. Then I'm going to start taking some of those away because some of the older ones, the patterns weren't written. I will admit my first few patterns out there weren't written as well as what we do with our sets now, the system that I finally put together for doing those patterns. They're still usable and all, but I want to go back and make them all updated to the way we do things now. And that's going to take a while. So they're going to be gone probably for a year or more to get all of those redone because I'm the one redoing them all. And it takes a little time to do that. But so you want to get those before the 31st of December because you're getting all of these great star patterns. You're getting the log cabin patterns, all of those. And I know somebody went out today and just went through and got all of them. Good for you. That's exactly what I want you guys to do is if you don't have those free patterns, get them because that gives you a whole library of quilt blocks that you could play with and start making your own quilts, even if you haven't yet purchased the system. So there's a lot there for you to use and play with and start and get used to the system and that sort of thing. Okay. So, all right, everybody, I wanted to, again, just wish you all a very happy holiday, a very happy holidays 2023. Merry Christmas, which is tomorrow. Today is Christmas Eve. We're all ready. In fact, when I'm done saying hi to all of you lovely people, I'm going to go make more fudge. I have made more of my homemade fudge this year than I think I've made in the last 5 years because a lot of people requested it this year. And I like to give it away to all of our friends that we know and to people that we know at our local coffee shop and our chiropractor who keeps my back and Dave's back where it's supposed to be. You guys keep hearing me talk about my shoulder and all, and it's still healing. It's much better than it was, but it's still healing. And this past week I tripped and fell because I'm a total klutz in my laundry room. And of course I jammed it right into the doorknob. Oh my gosh. I was just tears were just coming down my eyes. But the shoulder is okay. The shoulder I thought was going to be killing me. It's okay, but it really wrenched my hip. So I'm telling you, I'm a piece of work, right? I'm a real, as one of my good friends would say, I'm an absolute mess. But anyway, so we like to give my fudge to our neighbors and things like that as well. So when I'm done here with our live today, I need to go make at least 2 more batches of fudge and get them out tonight. Dave and I'll probably take a walk around our neighborhood and give them to all of our neighbors that are still home. So that's one of the things we like to do in the year. And this year we also, for Dave's staff at work, we gave them a whole little bag of gifts, but one of the gifts in there was our homemade hot chocolate mix, which Dave and I have been making the whole almost 42 years now, because on January 2nd is our 42nd wedding anniversary. And so we've been making that hot chocolate mix for probably for closer to 44 years because we've known each other longer than, of course, we've been married. So we made that for everybody. And that was a lot of fun. I just ordered some little jars and tied ribbons, but the mix is easy to make and measure out, and got my little scale, measured them all out so they would all be the same. And so that was one of the things we did this year too. I didn't do cookies this year because I don't really eat a lot of sweets, hardly any anymore. I've probably eaten a few more sweets than I normally eat over the holiday, and that's okay. But my husband has a sweet tooth, so I always try to keep something around for him. Even a jar of M&Ms does him just fine, so which is good. But I didn't bake any cookies this year. No cookies, but I did lots of fudge. He's been eating fudge for weeks now, so I think that's plenty. All right, everybody. I would love, actually, if you're watching or when you're watching, comment below and tell me a tradition that you guys like to do in your families, or if you like to do by yourself. Do you have something, a recipe that you make and give away? I know Dave's father, my father-in-law who passed during COVID, the bad part of COVID, we lost both his parents during that time from COVID, unfortunately. But he made a homemade beef log. It's like a cheese log rolled in a beef product. Oh my gosh. Everybody, like, he's known throughout the country for it, because everywhere he goes, he would make them and give them to people. And holy moly, I'm just telling you guys, they were so good. And I have the recipe and I've made them a couple times, but because we're trying to watch our waistlines this year, since we both lost about 50 pounds this year, we didn't make them this year. But that's like another tradition that we got from Dave's father. And Dave's father also used to make some really great spiced nuts, which I usually make those if we have more people like coming by and stuff, but we didn't really have people coming by this year. People have just been really busy. We've been super busy, but that's another thing. So comment below and let me know something that you do special during this time of year. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with food. Maybe you like to go sing Christmas carols, or maybe you like to stay at home and have people leave you alone. I know how that goes too. We have a quiet Christmas. It's just Dave and I, but you know, we love having that quiet time together. We're so busy throughout the year that to have, he's going to be home next week too. So to have a whole week of just him and I doing stuff around the house and catching up on some things we might want to watch that people have recommended to us, all of that. I will tell you, one of our favorite things that we watched this year was the series called Julia. It's 2 seasons so far, and I think they're going to do more. And it is a dramatization of The French Chef with Julia Child. Now, I have her cookbook. I watched the original Julia Child, The French Chef on PBS all my growing up. Half the stuff I know how to cook is because we learned it from Julia. My mom learned stuff from Julia. Everybody did, right? She brought a whole new way of cooking good food in a French style to us here in America in the 60s. And so that show is really good. If you remember the show Frasier, the man who plays Niles, Frasier's brother, David Hyde Pierce, he plays her husband, Paul. He's excellent. Bebe Neuwirth from Frasier, who played Lilith, she is in it. She plays her best friend, Avis. Just really, really, really well cast and well written and performed. So that's something you might, if you're looking for something to watch, that's something you might watch. There was something else we've caught up on a couple of shows that were like only 8 episode seasons. There's been some good ones this year. So, but that one I would recommend to everybody. Not everything we've watched might be something that everyone would like, but pretty much everybody knows who Julia Child is. And it's a really good, and it's pretty accurate. There's a documentary called Julia too, with the real clips and the real people and all. The young woman who plays her producer, the young Black actress who plays Alice, she is not a real person from the real Julia Child, but I think they placed her and placed this story around her because we were in the time of civil rights during that time. And she is incredible. This young woman is an incredible actor, and you'll enjoy her performance. The fact that she didn't exist in real life in that group of people takes nothing away from it. In fact, I think it enhances it. She's just amazing. You like her from the beginning, and you're like, she's one of these people you want to cheer for the whole time, especially us ladies. I love the character of Alice. So Julia, that's what it's called, simple, Julia. So give that a try if you're looking for something. I think tonight we're going to watch we've been watching more modern holiday films this week. I think tonight we're going back to some of the classics. I think we're going to watch A Miracle on 34th Street And I think we're going to watch Charlie Brown Christmas. And of course, The Grinch is my favorite. So we're going to watch The Grinch. And we might even sneak in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't know. Yeah, Dave and I, we're older adults. We still love those movies and things. So they're things from our childhood. So we enjoy them. So I think we're going to do that tonight. We might watch A Christmas Carol. There's many versions of The Christmas Carol out there. If you have a favorite version, let us know in the comments. I'd love to know, because my husband, he is very specific about A Christmas Carol and which version of A Christmas Carol he likes. And I don't like the same one he does. I mean, I like it, but it's not my favorite. The one he likes is not my favorite. So I have a different favorite. So let us know if you have a favorite holiday movie or series or song, anything like that. Let us know. Chit chat with one another if you've got a little time today. And I'll check in later too. I'll check messages and see what y'all have to say. I'd love to know. All right, everybody. So one more time, please remember, go over to the website and get all of the free patterns. If you're still on the fence about the Build-A-Quilt system, Basic Blocks 1 and Basic Blocks 2, get them while they're on special, because once they go off special, they won't go back on special this year. I just want you to know that. So this is a very special time to do that. One other thing I should mention. I've been getting a couple of, I got these before and I've gotten a couple recently. Are there going to be larger segment pieces? Let me share something with you guys. The reason that our largest segment piece in the sets right now is 5 inches finished is because that uses 5-inch finished block segments. So I've got a 20-inch finished piece. If I use larger segment pieces, it would be larger. But I wanted this whole first year to be a growth year, a learning year. And I wanted you all to know that you could do this with just a 5x7 hoop. You can make quilts any size you want, but the segment pieces, if you were doing this under a traditional quilting method, your segments probably wouldn't be much bigger. Now, I know some segments can be a little bit bigger. So this is what I'm going to tell you now. It's a little bit of an announcement. Are you ready? Give a listen. In 2024, I am going to try a concept of making a couple of patterns for us to try with larger segments. The concern I have about that is that the larger segments might not work with people that have 5x7 hoops. So I'll have to make them in 2 sizes, which means these will probably be just a couple of patterns to try the concept of larger segments. I don't know, once you have larger segments, how much you're really going to love them, but I'm willing to do them because I've gotten about a dozen of you now that says, I really want larger segments. So I'm going to do them. We're going to give it a try. Okay. I don't quite know when we're going to build that in, but we'll do one probably sometime between January and March to give that concept a try of the larger segments. And if you all love it and really want them, then yes, we will do a small basic set of larger segments. I will tell you right now, I may not do all of these segments. I'm not going to do 2 full sets in larger, but I will do an enhanced size set with some of these, might mix and match or something, and give that a try. All right. So I've been really on the fence about that because I know as a quilter, I never use anything larger than a 5x5 segment piece to make all the quilts I want to make. So, but all of you are wanting it. So I want to make sure that you can at least give it a try and see if it's something you really want. And so I've got a message over here. Hello, Patricia. How are you? Merry Christmas. I'm so happy that you jumped on. So glad to see you. I hope you have a great holiday. Thank you so much for all of your support and all this year at Sew in Common. We've loved having you and sewing with you. All right, everybody. I'm not going to be on here any longer. I've already been on here 25 minutes and I thought this would be 5 minutes. I'm going. Bye. Merry Christmas. Go Sew Life Beautiful, everybody. Like, subscribe. Merry Christmas, everybody. Love you all. Bye-bye.